Hello ladies and gents, good morning, thanks very much for tuning in as always to the RC Biker channel. Well, first things first, welcome to the awesome new workshop. I don't think the video really does it justice just how perfect this little space is. It's actually the same garage that I was using before, but obviously a lot has changed. Firstly, we've now got some electricity in here, we've got some wall-mounted RC cars, and of course the garage is now a nice white colour just to make it feel a lot nicer both on video and for myself. So thank you very much guys for watching my videos and allowing these things to happen. It looks absolutely awesome. You know what, the channel is 11 years old now, and I can safely say this is the biggest workbench that I have ever had throughout the time of doing these RC videos. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and hit the red subscribe button, and feel free to join us on Patreon as well. The link to that is in the description below. Every little helps. So in this video then, we're going to be having a look at the Nitro Trooper. You guys have probably already seen part 1 of the rebuild series. In today's video, we're going to be firing it up for the very first time, replacing the pull start, and hopefully getting the engine started. So here is the Nitro Trooper then. Now last time you guys saw it, we gave it a clean and had a little look to see what parts it needed. So in this video we're going to be replacing those parts. I've got a new pull start for it, and one-way bearing as well. I've also got a new O-ring kit, hopefully one of which is going to fit on the fuel tank lid. And we have already replaced the fuel tank as well, so let me show you what I've done to this one already. So here's what we're looking at already then. So we've replaced the spur gear in the central transmission, and I also at the same time changed the differential oil in the center transmission, and I also adjusted and cleaned up all the brakes because they were very oily. We've got a brand new fuel tank installed, of course some new fuel lines to go along with that, and it's looking pretty sweet. Together with the clean that I gave it, it's looking really nice. We're running a 2-stage waterproof air filter from HPI Racing. So as you can see, we're missing a pull start, and I also noticed that there was a bit of an air leak coming from the fuel tank lid, so I'm hoping that a new O-ring will solve that today. So let's go ahead and replace those couple of parts, and then hopefully we can get this one fired up and see how, or even if, this SH18 engine will run. Now of course I could have gone ahead and just purchased, you know, one O-ring for like £4 from Nitro, but I actually went for this 25 pieces O-ring assortment, and I'm hoping that one of those is going to fit on the fuel tank lid. If it does, then I've got loads and loads for spares, and there's lots of different sizes and etc. 225 pieces here for £4, so you do save money if you buy parts that aren't necessarily designed and made and produced by the manufacturer for these RC cars, because they can be quite a markup on the prices. So let's first remove the old O-ring, and if you're suffering from struggling to prime your engine and your car's a few years old, these little things are usually the cause. This one actually looks okay, but we'll change it anyway, and then hopefully this will solve the issue that I've been having. That feels better. I can feel there's a little bit more of a vacuum there now when I take the lid off, so hopefully that's creating a better seal and will be a bit better and allow the pressure to build up, because the issue I was having is the system wasn't pressuring, so the fuel wasn't making its way through sufficiently. Right, next thing we need to do then is get this new pull starter on. So like I say, again, I've gone for a non-SH or Turnigy part. This is just a part, you know, a standard pull start, so to speak, that's going to fit. This SH engine, I think it's got 12mm one-way bearing, and this is just a 12mm hex, so we can just try and slide this on, and hopefully it will fit. So I've just removed the exhaust, and you can see that fits on there pretty good. Just make sure it turns it over. Yep, it's fine. So now what I'm going to do is just replace the 4 screws in the pull start back plate, using a little bit of thread lock on those, and then I'll see you guys in a second when that's done. Okay, so that's the pull starter replaced. I actually had to remove the engine in the end. I was hoping to be cheeky and be able to replace it without removing the engine, but I've removed the engine and replaced the starter. It's all back in now, and if we just check that it works, seems to be turning over pretty well. Now, I've never started this engine. I know there's fuel in the tank, but that was just for me because I was trying to test this fuel tank lid, and the only way really to test it to see what seal we had was to see if it would prime, and it wouldn't. So I've just tested the electronics using the old trusty FSGT2. Everything's working good. So this fuel's pretty new. It's not been in there long, so I'm going to use it. It's OptiFuel 25%. So I'm just going to try and start it. Like I say, I don't know if it runs. I think it probably. I don't see why it wouldn't, because it has got good compression. So let's see if we can prime it. Just see if there's fuel coming out of there. Yep, good. So we've got fuel coming out, so that means that the O-ring replacement has solved that issue. So that's really, really good. Just try and get some more fuel in there. And let's try and start it. So I'm going to use this igniter. Carb gap would be fine. I can feel it trying to fire, so what I'm going to do is just start by priming it just a little bit more. Okay, so let's investigate just a little bit further. Let's just check this idle gap. That looks okay. I'm just going to remove the glow plug and check the glow plug. I did check the glow plug a couple of weeks ago, and I might have even put a new one in. We'll see in a second. Yeah, so I did put a new one in. Let's just see if we've got a glow. Yes, we have. So we've got a strong glow on there. Let's try the old trick of popping a few drops of nitro into the cylinder head. Now, I often suggest this as a method to people if you're trying to get your engine fired up and it won't. I often say popping a few drops into the cylinder head will just give you an idea of what the issue is, because if it fires up and you've put fuel in there and then it cuts out, it either means it's not primed enough, or it means that you've got some kind of blockage or something wrong with the carb, or maybe just the carb needs tuning. But when I say a few drops, I do mean a few drops. Lots of people come back to me and they say, oh, I did that but I flooded it. Well, that's because you poured too much in. We don't want loads in there, otherwise you will flood it. You know, it will flood pretty easily. Let's just grab a rag and just pull that a few times. Coming out. So that should definitely at least fire. You know, we should hear some sort of combustion going on now when I pull the starter. Let's just get this glow plug back in. Okay, glow plug back in. Let's just see. Okay, well, it feels more primed now anyway. Let's just see if we can get it to get something to happen. I can feel there's a bit more resistance there on the starter. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's just turn that trim up a little bit more. The engine seems to have relatively good compression anyway. Okay, so now it's stopped firing, so I'm going to pour a little bit more fuel in. This time I'm just going to do it into the carb opening. And then we'll see now if it fires up. If it fires up, this could suggest potentially something wrong with the tuning needles. Okay, so let's try it now then. See what happens. Bit more idle opening. Okay, that was looking a little bit more hopeful, wasn't it? Okay, so this one does run. There seems to be a bit of an issue with the clutch though, because if I lift the car off the ground and pull the starter, can you see how the wheels are turning? And they shouldn't really be doing that. So I think that is why it's struggling to stay running, because obviously I'm trying to start it with the wheels on the ground, but it's not going to want to start because it's under that load. So I need to have a look at the clutch. It's not a job for today. I don't have a clutch anyway that'll fit this. So I think you know, we've proved that it runs. It runs pretty well. So I'm just going to pop a couple of drops of after run oil in this one, and I will shelve it for a couple of weeks and then find a clutch, and then we'll carry on the process of getting this one going. But I would say it's pretty much a success. It's running pretty well. For the price I paid for it, it's a really, really nice little project. And you know, we've taken it from a real dirty heap of rubbish to something that actually certainly runs, or will run, just with a replacement clutch. So it's looking pretty promising. So hope you enjoyed this little rebuild series. Of course, you will see more of this one coming soon when I have fixed the clutch issue and got it properly running. But for now, thanks very much for tuning in. If you have any comments, post them down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys next time.